Salisbury Cathedral has a lot going on. The largest cloister, the largest cathedral close, one of the oldest working clocks of its kind, and one of 4 copies of the Magna Carta. There's a lot more going on as well, but you aren't here to learn about that. You are here to learn about the Holy Dipstick. Okay, so the context. Salisbury Cathedral used to reside in an entirely different location, way up on the hill to the north at Old Sarum. Built in the form we would probably recognise more today in 1092 by the Normans. You can still see the foundations. Now, for various convoluted reasons, they decided to move the cathedral from Old Sarum onto a marshy plain here at New Sarum, because why not? And to be clear, this isn't the cathedral where they sent a Victorian diver underneath with a bunch of concrete to shore it up. The story of this cathedral is far weirder. So they moved the entire cathedral in 1220, and it took around 38 years to add pretty much all of what you need to make a cathedral, something like 63,000 tonnes of stone, but there was something missing. Now I'm just going to head out to the left or the north of the cathedral because I want to show you the thing that caused the biggest problem. The chap that oversaw the building of this in the 1220s, let's call him the project manager, well, he was a tad concerned that the extra 6,500 tonnes of spire that was going to be placed on top, he was concerned that was going to cause a significant problem because he knew that this was built on a swamp effectively, and he knew that was a pretty silly idea. Okay, so have a look at this. Now, because of the fact it was built on a swamp, well, they could only put in foundations of about 4 feet. And look up there, well, that's over 400 feet high with the spire. Take a look at the foundation just over here. So when you're right up close to the cathedral and you look up, it's almost vertigo inducing. But to think that here, right next to it, there's only 4 foot deep of foundation. Now, with a little bit of luck, in 1220, well, project manager number 1 died. In steps project manager number 2. 6,500 tonnes on top of your cathedral, mate? Absolutely no problem at all. Let's get building. Now, pretty soon after that point, they started to realise that building on a meadow here wasn't the best idea. In fact, it was probably the opposite. Subsequently, 2 things happened, or 2 things needed to happen. The first was a winch. Now, when you build a big old tower like this, you'll find a winch at the top helps to build it. They would generally leave those in situ. So now the big old winch has a big old weight attached to it, which acts like a counterbalance. So the tower can move along with the wind, although not designed for the wind, moreover designed for the water. Now that was a fix, but they needed more. Now here's the part that fascinates me the most. Underneath this cathedral is a mix of water and gravel. How would you go about knowing what that level of water is? You see, to know that level of water is hugely important if you want to keep this afloat. So they installed a dipstick. In fact, a holy dipstick. So the water here literally keeps the cathedral afloat. Well, that's great. So end of story. Well, not quite, because it's all well and good knowing what your water level is by checking the dipstick, but what if the water is too low? Well, then you need to top it up. So in order to do that, well, they built a complete set of sluices right underneath where we are now, which fed into the base of the cathedral. Now, I've not been able to find a great deal of information on where these sluices come from other than a local river. Let's go and have a quick look and see if we can find exactly where those inlets are, because that in itself tells almost another story. So first of all, we had a quick look on our maps to see if we could see anything obvious. We scouted around the town. It didn't really make for great content because we found absolutely nothing. So we thought, hang on a minute, why don't we just go inside and ask them, the lovely volunteers and guides? So we did just that. And oh my goodness me, we got more than we bargained for. One of the lovely volunteers first of all gave us a demonstration on how exactly the clock works and what it's for, but then on to the money shot, on to the dipstick and how it works. Just check this out.
Anyway, that's where the level is there. But that far below our feet is water. And it is actually the water table.
This is the holy dipstick in action. So then I asked perhaps the trickiest question of the day. Where are the sluices that let the water in here? And how exactly do you know what level means it needs more water? What exactly is going on here? And he said absolutely no idea. So I questioned, well, how do you know where to let the water in when the level gets to a certain depth? And he said, well, that's a great question, but it's all done digitally via the Environment Agency. The dipstick at the moment is just for show. We're not going to find the sluices. So that really was the end of my journey, almost.
Hi.
This is Rebecca. You may know Rebecca from previous productions. Over on Rebecca's channel, you can check out the link in the doobly-doo below. Well, we're going to race home from here to our house. You're going to take the train.
I am.
I'm going to take the car.
No cheating this time.
I don't cheat. You didn't cheat. See you this time next week. Unless you're going to watch Rebecca's channel, which we'll see you over on Rebecca's channel.
Watch it,
Goodbye.